So we got my guy JJ in the building, man. JJ, what's going on, dog?
Oh man, just swamp busy up to my ears, brother. 7 days a week. You know, you
Love
always hear the phrase 24/7. I didn't know what it meant until I got into real estate.
that. I remember one of the first videos I made on YouTube was real estate doesn't sleep, and it was a video of me waking up at like 4 in the morning and not stopping until 11.
Oh,
Like
easily.
stuff
Yeah.
does not stop, literally. Love that, bro. You just got back from an appointment.
Yeah, I had to go look at a smart home in an area called Hancock Park. It's one of the oldest parts of Los Angeles. And I'm dealing with an architect planning a house out for me. And he wanted to show me this magnificent piece of work that he did.
Okay.
And I got to go. He said, let me show you this. Let me show you that. I said, I got 10 minutes. I got to go.
So this is going to be a deal for you or what?
I actually came into a house that I'm going to be moving into, and we're going to do a rehab on it. It's going to be my pad.
Okay.
And we're dealing with a guy that one of our subcontractors does smart homes. Blackout windows, curtains on a remote control, everything, sound, security, music, TVs off an iPad. It's unbelievable. So
Yes.
it's going to be for my new crib, as they say.
Love that. All right, dude. Well, you want to let the listeners know who JJ is and what JJ is all about, where you came from, exactly what you're working on, and all that cool stuff.
Sure, brother. My name's JJ Zizian. I am Mike Gomes' friend, and that's after that. There's not much else you can say.
Let's go.
There you go, man. Yeah, no. My name's JJ Azizian. I go by JJ. John Jerry as a child, and Mom said, "Thou shalt be JJ." It's been that way ever since. From Los Angeles, California. Grew up in the Hollywood Hills, and I actually grew up around in the tract housing area. That a third of the homes were built, a third were flat lots, and we played in the frames of houses, and took plywood and 2x6s and made forts in the Hollywood Hills. I've been around in real estate all my life, really. My dad was taking me to shopping centers when I was 13 years old, some center he bought, and I thought this was great. And I've just been around it forever, not really getting into it as an investor till about 4 years ago. Jumped in with an educational program that was good to get me going. I met Mike through a program called Sub 2 with a gentleman named Pace Morby. He's probably spoke about Pace. It's I like to say, the premier real estate education program in the country.
Yep.
And what I do is I help people. I teach people how to use the internet and Facebook to market themselves, market their business. Every education program in the planet now is based on Facebook. And people will sell you on Facebook, but they don't teach you how to use it. So kind of what I do is I'm the networking guy, so to speak. I put people together. I just teach people how to use Facebook.
So you're the networking wizard.
Yeah, that's what they tell me. I've got a networking Facebook group. I've got people in my group from, I think right now, 11 or 12 different real estate education platforms. And my whole concept on networking basically is to chase the deal, don't chase the relationship. People help people they like. They can't like you unless they know you, and they can't know you if you're not visible. So I also like to say, if you're invisible, opportunity will walk right past you.
So chase the relationship, not the deal.
Chase the relationship. Do not chase the deal. You've got something going on. It's a JV. It's a joint venture. You're a private money lender for somebody, and there's all the discussion about how this deal is going to transpose or take course. And if the person sees you're more interested in the deal than you are in really getting to know them and being concerned about who they are, and that deal goes south, that person's going to go, I don't need to work with them again.
Right.
But as you're joint venturing, as you're working on a particular project, and that person sees that you really care about them, and that deal goes south, you still got the friendship. There's always another deal. There's always another train. There's always another bus. So as I say, focus on the person, focus on the relationship, be genuine, be yourself. As long as you be that person that your parents love, your kids love, your grandparents love, your grandkids love, your buddies from high school, college, whatever it happens to be yourself, be genuine, be true. You can't go wrong. I mean, that's one of the things I love about Mike. Mike is he's real. He's real. He's down to earth. There's no pretense. There's no mustard on the hot dog. I love him. He's just a great guy, and that's the kind of person you want to do business with.
Appreciate you, bro. Dog, so go over what JJ is trying to do in real estate and what you've done up to this point.
Well, right now, I'm looking to expand my portfolio. I've got 3 commercial shopping centers in Southern California. Mm-hmm. I've got 3 houses. One of them's out of state in Ohio. I've got a condominium at Redondo Beach, which is a nice beach area south of Los Angeles Airport. Right now, I'm out to build my passive income portfolio, and I'd like to move into multifamily. Right now, I'm dealing with single family, but I'm hoping to move into multifamily. I've also been fortunate enough to meet someone who is an investor, and he's with a network of other investors. And because I've made myself visible, this gentleman's come up to me and says, "Hey, everybody knows you. I'm not a wholesaler. I'm not a rehabber. I'm a private money lender. That's how I make my money. Right. Everybody knows you. I'd love to be your private money lender."
Okay.
So with that, I've found now I've got almost unlimited resources of funds and capital. And then through my current program of not only networking, but sub 2, meeting young investors that are finding unbelievable opportunities, I've been presented with things like, I think in the last month, I've been presented with a 14, 18 million and $20 million project.
Holy crap.
And I just take these and I go to my PLM, who's got 40 years of development experience. And he knows how to review these. He knows how to make them happen. And so, my nickname has become JJ the Connector. I put people together.
Yeah.
In this case, I found a guy that's got a ton of friggin' money or access to it. Mm-hmm. Through our community, Mike, I'm finding people like yourself that have huge projects, 237 units, huge commercial center in whatever state. And they're like, do you know someone that might be able to help us? And now I do. So now I'm just trying to put people together, and I'm not going to call that a broker deal, but
So it's like you unlocked a bunch of funds, which actually unlocks in a plethora of deals. Like you can do any deal because you have all those funds. So with that being said, pretty much everybody that needs funds for deals can go to JJ and say, "Hey, can we do a deal together? I know you got some private money. I need to raise capital for this deal. Why don't we partner up on this particular property?" I'm actually doing this right now with an appointment that I just went on, where we're going to be doing an innovation agreement, and I'm going to be partnering up with somebody else who is going to be bringing the funds and structuring the deal. That way I don't have to worry about that, right? So when people have deals that need funding, they can go to somebody like JJ and say, "Hey, man, I know you have access to a lot of capital. Do you mind partnering up on a deal like this?" Is that the route that you're down?
Pretty much you're dead on, brother. Mm-hmm. As far as investors that are out there, if you're a new investor, if you're looking to get into doing what we all want to do, which is build our own passive income portfolio, have money come in while you sleep. Mm-hmm. People start with wholesaling, they get into rehabbing, and one of the big problems or questions or hurdles is, where am I going to get the money? And people say, well, you can use other people's money. How do I find other people's money? If the numbers on your deal make sense, the money's going to be there. But the key to getting from one spot to the other is having a network and having relationships in place, having people know who you are. People always say, business is all about who you know. It's all, Mike, you've heard that, right? It's all about who you know, right? I tell them they're wrong. It's not about who you know. It's about who knows you. You can go in a room of 500, 1,000 people, know every player in the friggin' room. But if they don't know you, you're going to walk out at the end of that day, at the end of those 2 days, at the end of those 3 days, and still be the same person that nobody knows who you are.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and more importantly, they need to know what you do. So,
Well,
like for
and
you,
they can't
dude,
know what you do unless they know who you are.
exactly. Yeah, I love that. So, like, in order for somebody to go to JJ for a deal, they have to know that JJ has access to all this capital, and he does this, right? He lends money out and partners up with people to get deals done. So, what are you doing up to this point to market yourself as somebody like that can connect all the dots?
You know what? I don't think I need to market myself anymore. I think I'm really fortunate in that I've built a network that I'm the admin of my own networking network. It's
Right.
a Facebook group. It's called JJ's Mastermind Networking. I've got 2,400 investors in my group from around the country. And the way I form my group, it's formed by personal relationships. I basically screen every single person that comes into the group.
Yeah.
Because I want to know who. It's like Facebook. I don't just accept a friend request. If I get one, great. I'll send them a message. How do you know me? Let's talk on the phone. I'd like to get to know you. If you're a real estate investor, then let's get to know one another. Mm-hmm. Because there's absolutely no value in adding someone to my friends list without any engagement. Because experience tells me I'm never going to hear from them again. Mm-hmm. So, as far as Facebook goes, I only add people to my friends list who are my real life friends, with the exception of a real estate investor. Someone sends me an anonymous friend request, I'm going to say, I'm going to message them right back. Are you a real estate investor? So here's my number. Let's talk. Let's get acquainted. I also want to see what kind of person they are. And one of the things I do is I'll check out somebody's Facebook page, and I'll go through and see how they're presenting themselves. Are they posting anti-Muslim, anti-Hispanic, anti-gay, white supremacy, racism? Guess what? I'm not going to want to do business with them. I don't want my face on their friends list. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to bring them into my network, and I'm surely not going to introduce them to my friends. I want to know the quality and character of someone who I'm going to be lending money to, or someone who I'm going to joint venture with, or someone who I'm going to introduce to one of my friends. So for me, it's really, really important on the kind of person that I want to really, bring into my life, which is into my livelihood. You are the cream of the crop as far as, some of the fine young people that I've met today.
I appreciate that, bro. Likewise.
Excuse me?
I said, I appreciate that, bro. Likewise.
Yeah, no, getting a chance to meet you in person, I heard of your name before we met. I was familiar with your successes and your growth and your progress development as a real estate investor. And I thought, I'd like to meet this guy one day. And sure enough, we met and got to know one another. And I have found, as I tell everybody, Mike Gomes is the kind of guy I'm going to have at my Christmas holiday dinner, at my Thanksgiving table. He's welcome into my home. That's the kind of person I want to do business with.
Likewise, bro. I saw you everywhere, all over Facebook and everything. So right now, what do you think is blocking you from doing all the freaking deals in the world? Like me, I assume just from having our conversations, I haven't really asked you this question before, but just by knowing you, JJ, I know you want to go do a bunch of deals, right?
Yeah.
Like what is preventing JJ from doing a shit ton of deals?
Well, gosh, I think what I'm starting to do now is really just put my own wholesaling team together. Okay. And I've joined up with one of the integrators from Sub2 to put all the systems together, and just really jump in with my own team and create my systems so that I could gather my leads and turn those into closed projects. So it's really learning more of the nuts and the bolts. Okay. I think the flip side of that is having the resources available, just finding the right person or the right people, the right individuals that I would choose to work with, that I could, get the little hamster running in the wheel.
So you want to run a direct to seller wholesale model?
that would be a great place to start in respect of if I can get that happening and start to be successful as a wholesaler,
Yeah.
get that wheel going. And then of course that gives me the opportunity, if I'm wholesaling in the parts of the country where I would like to acquire my own buy and holds,
Yep.
then of course it allows me to cherry pick the ones that look really, really favorable to me.
I love that. Yeah, that's my strategy. Like we're straight direct to seller wholesaling. That way we get the cream of the crop. So when there's a bunch of deals on the whiteboard, we can pick if we want to buy that one, or wholesale that one, fix and flip that one. All the things you're in more control. But I'm thinking with your goal, right? Like your goal is to have a lot of passive income. Is it? Like is that like your 6 to 12 month goal? Is to generate a lot of passive income?
Yeah, I think ideally it would be. I think one of the crazy things right now is what's happening with the market and
Mm-hmm.
the economy, and people are saying that it's been a seller's market for quite a while, and then now things are shifting. The shift hasn't completely taken place, but it's supposed to be a buyer's market, and prices are supposed to come down. So do you buy when they're higher? Do you wait for them to come down a little bit lower? So I think part of my thing is going to be to rely on the experience of some of my friends who've been doing this a little bit longer than myself.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I'm in a spot where I don't need to make a lot of moves right now, right away to make things happen. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to acquire some commercial property that's cash flowing.
Right.
I've got.
You want to add on to that cash flow.
Yeah, I've got a good nest egg. I've got a good nest egg happening right now, and I'm very, very fortunate and blessed with that. I'm just trying to take advantage of the opportunity of getting my investment education and building relationships with other investors to make my nest egg grow. I just plan to do that carefully and minimize my risk.
So JJ, you want to be a buyer, right? Like you want cash flow.
Well, yeah.
Think about wholesaling, right? Wholesaling is a hustle. Whenever I receive a check, I actually don't like it. Like, and here's the reason: because I know I got to go get another one. I know I got to go talk to more sellers and lock up more contracts. So whenever I receive a check, I'm like, shit, this means I got to go back to work. Right? It's cool when you know the checks are in escrow and they're about to come in and you're closing deals and you're like, okay, there's this much in the pipeline, right? And then all of a sudden you realize those checks and you're like, crap, I got to go run and get more. Right? So
yeah,
it sounds like if you want passive income where you don't have to keep going back and hustling, right? Like I'm at a different point in my career. I don't have the commercial properties and everything like that already generated me the cash flow. So I'm in the point where I need to hustle and I need to generate a ton of cash, right? And the fastest way to do that is wholesale, fix and flip, all these quick things, right? And hustle. But for you, it sounds like if you are if you just focus your energy on being a buyer and focus all your time and energy on generating passive income, I think that might serve you more than trying to build a whole entire direct to wholesale model. I mean, direct to seller model.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Especially with the network that you have, because you are one post away, maybe on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, just explaining some type of deal you did with somebody where you brought the capital, you guys partnered up or whatever, right? And explaining how the deal got done. Now, maybe I'm scrolling on Instagram and I see, wait, hold on. JJ has access to all this capital and JJ's my homie. Like, why am I not doing deals with him? I just have one in the pipeline from earlier today. Why don't I hit JJ up to see if we can partner up on it? And that's how JJ ends up getting passive income, by partnering up with other people. Or people just know JJ as a buyer. JJ has access to a lot of funds, and JJ and the dude that has the funds partner up on buying the deals, and you just pay people assignment fees.
And yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing it right now. Is as deals are coming to me, I'm giving them to my guy that's got 40 years of development experience.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he's looking at. He knows what questions to ask. And every time we've got some sort of a meeting with someone, he says, I want you right there. I want you to hear the questions I ask, learn by my side. And so I've got a phenomenal mentor in that regard.
Love that.
Just out to, I'm blessed, Mike. All I've really tried to do is help other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of, in some regards, become the I don't know what the right word would be, but the creation of the Zig Ziglar phrase, help other people get what they want. And later on, indirectly, other people will help you get what you want. And so for 3-4 years, I've just been showing people how to use Facebook, how to network, how to build their relationships, how to be visible, how to make it so that other people can see who they are. And these people are now growing their businesses. And I'm glad to see them grow their businesses. And as a result, I've got unbelievable loyalty in my group, which is phenomenal because it's built on real life relationships. But now, as a result of helping other people, the people in my group are telling folks I don't know, you got to meet this guy named JJ.
Yeah.
So now these unbelievable people are coming my way saying, how can I help you? And so I'm just on for the ride, brother.
Love that. So what's JJ's answer when somebody comes back to JJ a couple months later after realizing JJ has built something really dope and JJ's the man and he's a great person, and they ask, JJ, how can I help you? Like, you're awesome. You've done so much for me. Like, what can I do to help? What is JJ's answer?
Well, I think really as I have people coming up to me and getting to meet people, I really want to focus on getting to know that person better, and not so much as we said, chasing the deal. What can we do for a deal? I kind of really want to get to know the person better, because then the closer we get, then those opportunities will then come about through the relationship. It's tough. I mean, I know you're doing great things. It's like, okay, if someone like yourself said, how can I help you? Well, yeah, I'd like to find a deal, but I guess part of what I also need to do is spend a little bit more time mastering the education that I've been provided and learning how the systems all tie in together, and just putting all the pieces together. There's a lot there. It's nothing that anyone can do at any one point in time. Real estate investment is not a sprint. It's not a short race. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
And so
it's a never ending.
I think in actuality, Mike, I think I would ask to hear that person's story and hear where they started, where they went, how they developed, what led to their success. You and I have met. Maybe one of my biggest weaknesses is I don't really talk about business a lot, and I probably should talk about it more.
Yes, this is amazing that you just came up with that.
I would like to, like you and I, we've got to be friends first, because to me, that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Because I put huge value on my relationships, and it's done me right through my life, and that's just the way I roll, so to speak. But now that you and I have become friends, I think it'd be beneficial for me to interview you and ask you about your path and your journey and the things that have taken you to where you are today, and what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you, and then to kind of pick the pieces in that I might want to roll with. Because they say you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's important to ask, right? To ask and tell. And the perfect example could be if JJ came to me and said, Mike, I mean, dude, how can I help you? And let's just say I needed more eyeballs on my content or whatever. And that's really what I wanted. I could say something like, hey, JJ, I'm having a problem getting a ton of eyeballs on my content. And the reason why I want eyeballs on my content is because I have a really impactful message that I want to give to people. Right. And I've just been having a tough time getting eyeballs on it. I don't know how the heck I can do it, but do you have any idea? JJ says, dude, I have a Zoom that brings in a bunch of people every single week, hop on and be a speaker. You ask and you get, So same thing with JJ, right? If somebody asks JJ, like, how can I help you? And JJ has access to all this capital, JJ could say something like, man, I have access to all this capital and I've been having trouble finding deals to deploy this capital to.
Well, and I guess fortunately, this situation's only recently presented itself,
Love
and
that.
it's recently presented itself as a result of relationships. I
Mm-hmm.
met this individual 4 years ago when I was starting out, and we gave me his card and nice to meet you, and didn't really think much of it from there because we didn't talk enough to connect. That's why I want to get to know the person again. We then
Yeah.
met about 6 months later and had another conversation about, hey, I'm not a wholesaler, I'm not a rehabber, I'm a private money lender. Everybody knows who you are, JJ. You're very, very visible. I'd love to be your money guy. I'd love to be your lender. Here's my card. I
That's
was
a
still new. I was still green, at that point in time.
mm-hmm.
And as the next 2.5, 3 years transpired, um, I become more visible. I've acquired some property. I've become a private money lender myself. I've taken a HELOC on my house. I've got I don't know 200-300 grand working at 12% right now, which is great. Um, and this gentleman and I recently ran into one another again, and we had a conversation again, but we had more time to get to know one another. And as that happened, he said, "Hey, I'd like to come on to LA and get to know even more." I said, "Fantastic."
Mm-hmm.
And as he got more comfortable with me, he then allowed me to understand that he's actually got more people that want to invest just besides himself. And so now, I guess if someone said, well, "What can you do?" I would say, I've got people that want to fund deals, and I just need legitimate deals that are properly presented, properly packaged, brought to me in a manner where I can not only give it to someone else to review, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so professionally presented that they can give it to someone else or to his other cohorts, because there's probably 2, 3, 5, 8, 10 people. They're locked and loaded, ready to go.
Right.
And so if a package isn't presented properly, if it's not neat, it's not looking good, doesn't have all the information necessary, these guys are going to walk away from it. They want to look at the nice, clean package. And so I kind of make it clear as people that are coming to me now, it's got to be presentable. I've got to be able to show. Don't send it to me in a text message.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be something I can show somebody.
So what do you think JJ's blueprint is to go get more deals done and more passive income?
Well, I guess now to delve within my network to the not 2,400, but there's about 5 or 10% of any group that's really doing everything.
Yeah.
We've all heard of the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people do 80% of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess, for me to structure a new game plan, and this conversation we're having now, Mike, is obviously going to be extremely helpful for me as I'm formulating, my next step. But probably just to go back and look at my group and look at my network and put together a list of the kind of people that I would want to do business with, and then approach them and basically say, "Hey, I've got funds available. Can we do something together?"
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, that's as simple as looking at the guest speaker list for my Zoom calls. I've got my own wish list, a bunch of names that very well, of
Mm-hmm.
people I'd love to get on my calls. And by having my calls and having my networking group, it's made me visible to the community that we're a part of. And with visibility comes opportunity. And I want to say that for the new investor, for whoever's watching your podcast, that as you become visible, there comes some amount, maybe not legitimate, but some amount of credibility. But that credibility is what takes you into opportunity. So now within the community that you and I are a part of, as I become visible, that allows me to be able to talk to people that maybe 8-9 months ago wouldn't have taken the time to say hello, because extremely successful people constantly have someone pulling on their shirt going, "Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me?" It's like, I don't have time for 25 people every hour pulling on my shirt. Can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
But
you have a superpower, bro, that you can network, and you built a huge network already. So what I'm thinking, right, with JJ going down the road of going direct to seller wholesaling, it would almost be like there's a pot of gold right here, and you're just like, screw it, I don't want that pot of gold. I'm gonna go after. I'm gonna grow it from the dirt. Like triple down on what you've got, bro. You know what I mean? You have something super, super special in that group. Um, I think it's just figuring out a way to monetize that group. And it's not like taking advantage or anything like that. It's you're providing value to the group. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. And I sincerely appreciate this. And you and I have had conversation in the past about, my next deal, or, they say your first deal, next deal, whatever it happens to be. And everything you're saying, really, it's a matter of timing. And now is becoming the right time for me, where 6 months ago, 8 months ago, it wasn't. But now, having recently reconnected with a friend of mine who's ready to rock and roll, locked and loaded, as I like to say. And then, being on your podcast now and having you reinstill this perspective and this, concept of, for me now, it looks really, really clear. But there's a number of people I'm going to probably be reaching out to and letting them know that, if they have any really good, nice sized projects, I've got someone that's ready to back those. So, do business together.
Yeah, 100%. People will only do business with people who are doing business, but people will only do business with people they know are doing business.
Well,
So
that's the key thing.
They don't
people
know.
They know.
You know?
And I mean, you've got your podcast, you've got, hundreds, thousands of people watching you. You're very well known, and you've deservedly reached a point of acknowledgement and recognition within your community. And as anyone that wants to aspire to get to your point, who's new, who's starting, it's crucial they build their network, because if one networks properly, and I like to say network with intention. You need to network with intention. You don't go to an event and kind of hang out and hope someone's going to talk to you, or kind of shyly, modestly talk to someone a bit. But, work the room. I mean, I went to an event last night, and by the time I was done in an hour and a half, I talked to every single person there. And as the evening went along, everybody there realized I was working the room, talking to every single person there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is, as you network and network with intention, people are going to notice you. And eventually you're going to build relationships. And with your visibility comes opportunity. And that's only a result of your networking.
Yeah. 100%. And then it's capitalizing on the network.
Yeah. Capitalizing on the relationships you build by having people get to know you first.
Yep. I like that. I like that, bro. So what's JJ's next couple moves?
Probably my next couple of moves is looking at my list of the upcoming people I want to get as guest speakers, or the ones that I've had. I mean, I've probably got a list. I could probably 5 minutes put together a list of about 25 people that are recognized within our community, and who 9 months ago wouldn't have known who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But now today they know who I am. Yeah. And when someone knows who you are, they'll take the time to give you a couple minutes. And so I'm probably going to be approaching these folks to see how we might be able to come together with their opportunity and my funding to put some together and see if I can't just start to generate a flow of deals.
Yeah, man. I mean, one of the best ways to catch somebody's attention on that type of stuff is by telling a real life story. Like, let's just say you are in the middle of funding somebody's deal or something like that. You flip the camera and you talk about it. Like, hey, we're doing this cool ass deal. we're funding this guy, X is getting done, it's in this area, whatever, and just doing a real life case study and talk about how the deal got done. The deal got done by JJ funding it. Just say, hey, a wholesaler brought me this deal, didn't really know what to do with it, didn't have any buyers, so we came in with the funds and got the deal done.
Sounds great. I'm getting
people's attention, and they're like, wait, that guy will fund people's deals? Great. I'm going to reach out to JJ next time I have a deal that needs fund.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's a recent opportunity that's presented itself to me. And actually, I was on the phone yesterday morning with a couple guys out of our community who have 2 fairly big deals going on in 2 different states. And while we were there, I got my guy on the phone. I said, hey, just wanted to make an introduction. And we had a short introduction. I had a couple minutes. He had a couple minutes, but we're going to follow up tomorrow and on the phone and have a longer conversation and see if we can make that deal happen. And hopefully we can.
Like, you have 2,500 something people in that group. Everybody's doing deals probably, or a good percentage of them are doing deals. And a lot of those deals need funding. What's going to end up happening, you're going to start attracting a ton of opportunities. And these are essentially your leads. So instead of paying a virtual assistant to go generate you leads, you have other investors bringing you leads, right? And then you're going to end up scaling from there. And you're going to have people underwriting deals and everything like that, because it's going to get too overwhelming. Like, bro, you have a crazy network that you can tap into. Once the faucet turns and leads start coming, it's going to get overwhelming. That's a good problem to have.
Oh, yeah.
Happens, you bring somebody on your team to start taking in all the leads and underwriting them and then tossing them up to you, and you go with your guy and chat about them and see if it's a good deal for you guys. But I see that being like the fastest way for JJ at the moment with the network that he has of building a ton of passive income quickly, rather than the wholesale route. Because I've been doing the wholesale route, man. It's a hustle. It's a grind. Like I was telling you, that video that I made, one of my first videos, literally 4 a.m. to like 11 o'clock at night, just hustling. It's a grind, bro.
You've done really well. I mean, everybody knows you. You're very successful, and you're highly respected. And I think a lot of that comes from who you are as a person, your character, your integrity, and the fact that you got a personality. People just freaking love you, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
love that.
So we got to get you out to Los Angeles, man. Come see a Dodger game with me.
What's up, bro? I'm down. I'm down for sure. You're gonna be at the next Avengers meetup, right?
Oh yeah, in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I will definitely be at the next Avengers meetup.
Love it. JJ's gonna be networking like crazy. Like, yo.
And of course, we have an Avengers call later today.
Yes, sir. That reminds me. But JJ, bro, I appreciate you coming on here. So with this being said, JJ, how do people reach you to bring deals to your plate? Because there's somebody watching this right now that's like, dude, I have like 5 deals I need funded. I don't know. I don't have a lender. So how does somebody reach out to you?
I would say probably the best way, message me on Facebook, JJ Azizian, just as it's written there on the screen, if they can see it. Heck, reach out, call me. My number is 818-683-4047. I'm reachable. I've got a website, jjazizian.com, which is in the works. I may have to modify the contact sheet there, but and I've got a networking group, which is on Facebook called JJ's Mastermind Networking. And to actually get through to that, here's another one. I got to clean it up, but I have a website called networkingwithjj.com. And when you go to networkingwithjj.com, there's a gold box that says register for the group. Click the gold box, give me your name, number, email, phone number, city, state, and zip code, and then message me on Facebook that you've registered, and we'll connect.
Love that, bro. I appreciate you coming on here, Dom.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you so much.